Good morning. I'm so glad that you have joined me today. My name is Marge Peterson. I'm with the Clay-Burg County Adult Literacy Council, and we have these classes. We have the video class for Facebook and also on YouTube that you can access these classes. And we also have face-to-face, in-person classes at the Community Life Center. It's First United Methodist Church Community Life Center on 5th Street, and I forgot the name of the other cross street, but it's just down from you can see it from the post office or from Clay-Burg Bank. And anyway, we have classes here every Tuesday and Thursday mornings, and we're going to continue the classes throughout the summer also. So one thing I wanted to say is that we have these English classes to teach English, and I do idioms and grammar and pronunciation and like reading, and we do all kinds of different skills in our English classes. But I wanted to mention to you that I know that studying another language and using it all the time is not an easy chore to do. And the more that you do it, the more comfortable you will become. But I know that it can make you extremely tired because you feel like that you are your brain is kind of stressed all day long when you're trying to use English and it's not your first language. So I really appreciate that you're watching these videos, that you are learning something. Take notes, please, if you would, or if you need to watch it a second time, or come to our class in person on Tuesday and Thursday mornings from 8:30 until 9:45, or we go till about actually 10 o'clock. But we'd love to have you, and we have a wonderful group, and we all have to wear a mask and be socially distant to some extent, okay, because we're doing better in our pandemic, recovery, because I think we're all trying to recover from the pandemic and make life a little more normal. But we still require everyone to have their temperature taken when they first get here and to wear a mask while you're here. So thank you, and just hang in there. If you feel really tired from using English all day long and you really want to speak, whether it's Taiwanese or Spanish or Arabic or whatever your language is, Indonesian, I really appreciate that you're joining us and trying, because that's important. We're going to start out with idioms, which I usually do, and we have been doing idioms that are descriptions of people. And I'm not going to do the review today. I'm going to start because we did 7 of them the other day. We had let's see here. We had where are the other ones here? Just a moment. We had the apple of your eye, big cheese, social butterfly, all brawn and no brains, a couch potato, an eager beaver, and even Stephen. And some of those are much more common. I think perhaps you have heard of couch potato. You've probably heard of the apple of your eye. Any of them that have a pronoun in them, like the apple of your eye. I explained to the students that you can substitute any pronoun. If I say that my grandson is the apple of my eye, okay, then I say is the apple of my eye. If I say that I am the apple of my father's eye, okay, or of his eye, you can substitute that pronoun, and many of these do have pronouns in them. So if they do, I just know that that's a absolutely common rule that you can substitute the pronoun. Okay, we're going to learn several more today. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to learn 8 more today, and then we'll do some review next time for all of them. Okay, a tough cookie. I don't know if you've ever heard this one before. You hear it in movies. Sometimes if somebody is really a tough cookie, you think of them as being, they can handle anything, and in a way it is. This is what the source I took. Usually I use either a book or an app for all of these and for the definitions. It's a person who is self-confident and will do whatever is necessary to get what they want. So usually they think of a tough cookie as somebody that, okay, if it's a very difficult job or if they have a difficult environment in which to work, they'll do it because they want to earn the money to buy a new house or to go on this trip or to do something, to get what they want. A tough cookie will withstand any kind of adversity or anything that is bad or difficult. A person who is self-confident and will do what is necessary to get what they want, a tough cookie. And often we use it, at least I've heard it often as a female, okay? I don't know why, but I probably could be a male too, but I think more often, since the word cookie refers more to a female. Don't ask me why, I'm not sure, but I think that's the truth. A class act, this is a really a good, and this is a common description of people too. Someone who is well respected and very good at what they do. So if someone has high standards and high morals and is respected by people of all different ages and backgrounds and things like that, and they work hard and they protect the dignity of other people, then you would say that they are a class act because they do what they're supposed to do. They're good at doing it, but they also respect other people, and they are respected for that. So it's a compliment, actually, if somebody is a class act, okay? This is very common. Born with a silver spoon in one's mouth. In here, the one can be her mouth, his mouth, their mouth, okay? So that the idea, and you may have an idiom in your language that is similar to that, because it's pretty common, and it almost is self-explanatory. If you are born with a silver spoon is expensive, okay, if it's real silver. And if it's in your mouth, the idea is that you're born into a very rich family. If you are born with a silver spoon in your mouth, that means you were born into a very rich family. So if you say it about someone else, that's what it means. This is very common. I probably use this one or hear it at least once a week. A chip off the old block. Okay. When you think of a block, it's something, it's whatever size it would be like something that is the stable thing in the middle. Okay, that would be like a parent. Okay, a chip off the old block is a person who is like one of his or her parents in appearance, character, or behavior. So if you are like one of your, say you're like your father, maybe not so much in appearance, but in your behavior or your character. Someone might say, "Oh, she's a chip off the old block when it comes to her father." That means that she's like her father, or she's a chip off her father's block. Well, we wouldn't say that as much. We'd just say a chip off the old block. For some reason, because the older one is the stable, established one. So that a chip would be just a part of it, meaning that you are made of the same DNA, okay? So that you have the same, maybe the same appearance, or maybe have the same character, or the same behavior. If a son acts a lot like his father, you might say, "Oh, he's a chip off the old block." Okay, so that's very common also. A tough cookie, a class act. Born with a silver spoon in your mouth, or in one's mouth, chip off the old block. Those are the first four. We have four more here. Okay. A tower of strength. This you might hear if someone has a death in the family or some real tragic thing that happens. It usually has something that's difficult, a time that's difficult. A person who is very helpful and supportive during difficult times. So if you, let's say your child gets cancer, okay, and maybe your mother comes to help you out, or your sister, or a very good friend, or something like that is very helpful and supportive. Maybe they help take care of the other children, maybe they bring food or do different things just so you can try to maintain your normal daily routine and activities. You could say that person is or was a tower of strength for you because they were very helpful and supportive during the difficult time when your child had cancer. Okay, so it's a very, very wonderful thing to have, and it's a wonderful thing to be a tower of strength too, because especially if you've experienced it from someone else, then you can pass it on possibly to someone else and be that tower of strength. So it's a very complementary thing, okay? This one, a loose cannon, and you see this word right here, L-O-O-S-E? We pronounce it loose, loose. If it just has one O, we pronounce it lose, lose. If you want to, you don't want to lose your wallet or your car keys, or maybe you want to lose weight, okay? A loose is something that is not stable necessarily. If I say my blouse is loose, okay, that means that if I do something, it may move around because it's loose. If it doesn't move, then it's tight. That's the opposite of loose. A loose cannon, and a cannon is, I should have brought a picture of something. They used cannons before there were a lot of other kinds of things to use in warfare, okay? In the U.S. Revolution, the Revolutionary War from England, that when the United States became a country, they used cannons, and sometimes the cannon would be on a ship, and they fire these like big cannon balls, okay, that would, just hit lots of things, and it would be a lot of fire with it. Or sometimes they would fire them from a field, okay, and it would become, like a war zone there or something. So when you think about a loose cannon, it would be, the idea. I'm giving you the idea because that's the literal meaning. But here's the idiom meaning. It's someone who cannot be completely trusted because sometimes he or she is unpredictable and irresponsible. So if you think of a cannon going in a certain direction, but if it's a loose one, you don't know where it's going to go. That's the unpredictable and irresponsible. Okay, so it's someone, you don't want to be called a loose cannon because that means you can't completely be trusted. You want to trust the person, and the person wants to be trustworthy, but sometimes they're unpredictable. They'll do something that is not, how do I say, it's not in the plan or out of the schedule, and irresponsible. Maybe they don't take care of certain responsibilities. So if someone is a loose cannon, that is not a compliment at all. Someone who cannot be completely trusted because sometimes he or she is unpredictable and irresponsible. And I notice I said sometimes. Sometimes the person is very responsible or predictable, that they'll do what they're supposed to do. But sometimes they're not. So then you don't know if you can trust the person. So they cannot be completely trusted. A loose cannon, very common these days. Okay, this one is also very common. Life of the party. If someone is a life of the party, a person who is the most lively or happy and amusing person, and and funny person at an event. If someone is the life of the party, everyone likes to be around that person usually, because they're happy, they're making other people laugh, they're not real serious, and they're just having a good time. And usually it's the most lively or the most happy or the and amusing. They're telling jokes, and they're very funny jokes, and they're making everyone feel happy. The most amusing person at an event, life of the party. So that's a good thing, to either be around, to be the life of the party, or to be around someone who is the life of the party. And the last one we have today is down to earth. This describes a person who is realistic and practical. Okay, if you're realistic and practical, and who has sensible reactions and expectation. So that's, and it's not a dreamer. I put that on there because that's what the definition said for sure. The person is not a dreamer. It's someone, if they're down to earth, they're realistic about what they expect and how they act, and who is sensible, they're sensible, okay? They're not saying, oh, it doesn't matter, this doesn't they're not a dreamer. Their head isn't in the clouds. We had that one a long time ago. If someone's head is in the clouds, that means that they are not down to earth, okay? That's the opposite. So it would be, if someone's head is in the clouds, why then they end up being like a dreamer, or they don't realize that there's earth here that is practical and sensible things. So those are the ones for today. A tower of strength, that's a very important, good person in your life. A loose cannon, I hope no one ever calls you a loose cannon, because if that's so, then you maybe want to try to become more predictable and more responsible, okay? Because you notice unpredictable, that means not predictable, okay? Not able to predict what the person does. Irresponsible, those kinds of prefixes, sometimes miss is, we had one that said misunderstanding, that means not, okay? Un or in, that is also another prefix that means not. Irresponsible, that's another one that means not responsible. So a loose cannon, tower of strength, a loose cannon, life of the party, down to earth. Look at the other four that we had first. Remember? A tough cookie, a class act, born with a silver spoon in your mouth or in one's mouth, and a chip off the old block. Okay, if someone's a chip off the old block, you're just like your parents. So, okay, we're going to do a little review next time. We'll start out with that, of these, and we do have more. I have another 15 of them, as a matter of fact. So we have lots of descriptions of people. I know the app that I was looking at, this one had one of the most examples in that category. So, and it's a category, descriptions of people. And I thought that was kind of interesting, but I guess it's because there are so many people and such a varied types of things that you can say about people. And as I said, some of these are very complimentary. They're a compliment if you're a class act. But if you're a loose cannon, that's not a compliment. So it describes different types of people and different opinions of people too. So, okay, we're going to go on with grammar, and this time I'm going to move this back here a little bit closer to. We had been talking about irregular, and I'll put it up here, past tense verbs. And this is, today it is also kind of what do I say? It's also kind of a review, because we've had these before, but I noticed the reason I'm reviewing them, because some of my students in my face-to-face, in my in-person, in the classroom class, said that I think I went over these maybe a little fast, because this is not a complete list by any means, but they said that they were having problems trying to, they were having problems trying to remember what the past tense of certain words were. And I said, that's what's really difficult about the English language, is that there's no clear one rule fits all verbs. And so that's why I'm going over them again, because I think you need to practice them. I want you to use them. I'd like you to write them down if possible. And we're going to practice some pronunciation today, because that's what they were having some problems with. So I'm going to look at there were 9 different groups, and I'm going to do them kind of quickly today, but I'm going to give you some of the irregular forms that they use, or groups that they put them in. Okay, the first group had to do with, and these are just common ones. It has to do with the sound, the vowel sound of the verb, the past tense verb. Okay, so not with the verb itself, but the past tense. And this was a problem. Began. And what I told him, I said, it makes an sound. Begin, began, and. It's not begun, because sometimes an, you think of this, that spelling in English. Sometimes you think it would be an un or on, and it's not. Usually it's an eh. Like if you have the word, for example, answer. And I told my class, I said, many languages don't make that sound. Okay, this one right here. Answer. We don't say answer, okay? That would be more like British English. But in American English, we say answer, And I said, it's almost as if you're saying the an through your nose. Answer. And I said, think of if, you know how when kids will do certain things and they'll go, like that. That's the sound. Answer. You put it with the rest of the rest of the word. Okay? So that's what the sound that the first group, all of the irregular past tense verbs have that sound. The verb itself have an I sound. Begin. Drink. But the past is, do you remember? Drank. Drank. There's that sound again. Okay. Ring is another one. Ring. And this is not the noun. This is the verb, to ring. The doorbell rang. There it is again. Here's another one. Sing. What is the past tense? It's like the one before it. Sang. Okay. Sink. Not the noun, but the verb, to sink. Sank. The boat sank. And the last one I'm going to do is swim. See, all of these now have the short I, not a long I sound. It's a short I. Swim. We don't say swine, we say swim. So the past is swam. Okay? It's that same sound, even though there's an M there. Okay? It's like it, but most of them have the an. But here it's swam. It's not swum, it's swam. And just think of, for this one, think of I am a woman. Okay? Am. Think of it. We don't say you know, we don't use that, but am. Began, drank, rang, sang, sank, swam. All those have that eh sound, okay? So that was the first group. The second group we had, okay, and this one, some of the students had a hard time with this one too. The verbs aren't similar, but the past tense, not the infinitive form of the verb or the base form, but the past tense, they all sound the same. If you buy something today, yesterday, you bought it, ought. And look at the spellings of these, because there's one right there. Buy, here's one. See, the infinitive form or the base form are different. This one's a UY, this one's an I, short I. But this one is the same. These are the same. So sometimes you have to just look at the verbs themselves, or look at the verb and remember that the past tense one. And of course that's why it's good to be in class or talk with somebody in English or read some, and I think those are good skills. I mean, I would like everybody to read a little bit, even if you take a magazine article and just take part of it and try to, and listen to something in English. Maybe a newscast, they talk pretty fast on the news, or maybe a novella, okay, if you want to listen to a soap opera or something like that, that you can hear some English being spoken and try to understand, because that's a really good thing. If you don't have a chance to speak to anybody in English in your family or in your home or something, then try to find some other sources, okay? Bring, brought, these are very common verbs, so you should, it's really good to know them. And one of the students said, do I have to memorize them? And I said, well, not really, but the more that you read them, and read them out loud, the more that you will understand. And, you know, if somebody said, did you catch any fish yesterday? Yes, we caught 3 fish. Okay, here's a word, and it has a bought, brought, caught. That's not spelled the same as the others, but it still has the same sound. Same sound. Today I am teaching. Today I will teach. Yesterday I taught English. Okay? So the more that you look at these, because these are common words, you use the word buy, bring, catch, and teach. I'm sure that you use that pretty often. So just practice so that it comes naturally to you. That's the whole point, is that the more you practice, the more natural it will become. It won't be quite as tiring to speak English then, okay? Fight as a verb, and the past is fought. Did the kids fight yesterday? Yes, they fought all afternoon. Okay, that means, and not necessarily fist fighting, but sometimes arguing and fighting like that. Okay, think. Very common verb. What is the past of think? Sounds like this. Thought. 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 Okay, and there's one more, and I added this one because seek means to look for something. That's not as common of a word. You might see it like in a Bible, or you might see it in a poem or a reading. But seek means to look for something. And sought is the past. Okay, he sought his dog all afternoon, which means he looked for his dog. But nowadays we usually would say looked for. Okay, so say these with me. Bought, brought, caught, taught, fought, the F sound at the beginning, fought, thought, T-H, thought, and sought. Okay, so that's the second group. The second group, these all have the eh sound. These all have the ought sound. Okay, I'm going to do the third group here. These have the same word as in the base form or the present tense, the infinitive form, and the past tense form, which, you know, and these you almost have to memorize too, so that you, if you see the word cost, the past tense is cost again. It's not costed, okay? It's cost. If you say, did she cut your hair yesterday? Yes, she cut my hair yesterday. Not cutted, not cutted. That's not a word. Cut. Same word, which makes these difficult, okay? Did you hit the ball yesterday? Yes, I hit the ball, not hitted. That's not a word in English. Hit and hit. So these you kind of have to memorize and practice. The more that you practice, the better it will become. Did you hurt your hand yesterday? Yes, I hurt my hand badly, not hurted. I hurt. Okay. Put, and see, these are common words. Hit, cut, and cut. Put is a very common word. Where did you put the can opener, okay, yesterday? I put it in the drawer. Okay, put and put, not put it, put it in the drawer. Shut. Did you shut the door? Yes, I shut the door this morning. Not shutted, shut. And the last one is let. See, all of these end with a T. Did you let the cat out last night? Yes, I let the cat out. Not letted. I let the cat out. Cost, cut, hit, hurt, put, shut, and let. They all have the same form, no matter if you're using the infinitive form, the base form, or the past tense form. Okay? The fourth one, we're going to try to get through most of these. I hope we can. Now these all end in a D. Okay? These all end in a T. But these all end in D. Let me just put them up here, and we will put spin. And again, this isn't the complete list, but these are the most common of the irregular past tense. Lend. Did you lend me or will you lend me your? No. Did you lend me your book yesterday? Yes, I lent it. See, they go from the ending here to the ending with a T. Lent. Did you send your mother a birthday card? Whoops. Yes, I sent her a card last week. Sent. Send, sent. Bend, bent. Did you bend, what is something that you bend maybe? Did you bend the spoon, the plastic spoon? Yes, I bent it in half. Bent. Did you spend your entire paycheck? Yes, I spent my entire paycheck. I hope not, but that's spent. Spend and spent, past. And the last one, did you build your own house? Yes, we built We built our own house. Okay, let's look at group number 5. And this one, okay, all of these have an E, okay, and the past tense has how do I say, a short E sound, but a T, they end in T. So, and instead of 2 E's with an E sound, they end differently, okay? Feel, the past is felt. Did you feel well yesterday? Yes, I felt. See, just 1 E, so we say felt, okay? And the same thing with, this is not an L with it, but this one. Did you keep your book? Yes, I kept it. Did you keep your book? Yes, I kept it. Okay. Did you sleep well last night? Yes, I slept very well. See, all of these will have like a long E sound. They don't all have 2 E's, but this one does again. Did you meet your new teacher? Yes, I met my new teacher. All of these just have 1 E, so it has a sound. Felt, kept, slept, met. Now these two, like this one, leave. Did you leave your umbrella at home? Yes, I left it. See, again, it's ending in a T, but it has just 1 E, so it's F. This is a E, leave, left it. And the last one, and this is probably one of the most difficult past tense, irregular past tense verbs in English, because it looks just like the infinitive form, but it sounds different. So you say, did you read the article in the newspaper? And this one would be an E sound, a long E, like it's these two. But this one is like 1. Yes, I read it. It's the same word, but sounds different. This one sounds just like the word, which most of you know, the color red, okay? So that if you said, did you read the article? Yes, I read it. But you spell it this way, just like the infinitive form, but we pronounce it read, okay? I think our time is just about up here, so I'm going to leave it at here, and we'll do 6, 7, 8, and 9 next time, because I think it's important for us to know, I covered this before, but they're all irregular, and there's different ways, just like I said, all of these, the infinitive form, or the base form, is pronounced with a long E sound. Feel, and the past is felt, felt. Keep, kept, kept. Sleep, slept. Don't say sleeped. It's not sleeped, it's slept, slept. Meet, met. See, these are all common verbs. Leave, left. Read, read. Okay, and it's important to know. And the only way you can know, and we didn't cover this today, we will next time because I have it on the plans, is time markers or time expressions. If someone said, if you said, if there's a question saying, did you read, and remember, this would be read as the long E sound. Did you read the newspaper? Yesterday? Or did you read anything, the memo or anything like that? But this is past, okay? And if these time markers, you know, this is how you know you need to answer in the past tense. Okay? Yes, I read it. Yes, I read it. Okay? So you have to look and see, if you don't say yesterday, and well, for a question, it would make a difference, yeah. Do you read the newspaper? Yes, I read it. Because now you're talking about, but with the time markers, when you say yesterday and did, you know it's past tense. So sometimes you have to look at more parts of the sentence rather than just the verb itself. That's how you can tell what tense of the verb to use. Okay, we've kind of covered a bunch of ground today. I hope that you've learned something. I hope that you write things down, practice them. That's how you'll get better at learning English. And thank you for joining me. Thank you for studying English, because I want you to become a better English speaker and understand and communicator, okay? So thank you. I'll see you next time, okay? Have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye.